As a child, I was told you can achieve anything you set your mind to and be anyone you want to be. There's much power in that statement, but is it true? Can we really achieve anything? Well, several people have come up on this TEDx stage and said it's possible, and they make it look like it's a walk in the park too. They say so boldly and so confidently, "You can do it. Look at me. I'm an ordinary person and I did this. You can do it too." And with that, you get inspired and attempt to do what seems impossible. But at the end of the day, we're still back at square one, still struggling to attain our dreams. Because all we see is a multitude of limitations that prevent us from pursuing our desires. We presume plenty of reasons why we can't do it. So the question remains, can we really achieve anything? Can we be anyone we want to be? Well, at the very least, it seems to be true because others have said so and have likewise done so. And we've watched countless videos trying to learn how they did it so we can replicate it. Yet, here we are, back where we started. Why haven't we accomplished what we want? I'm sure you've tried several times. I'm not saying you haven't. However, have you achieved your dreams? You may have made some progress towards it, but not significant enough to make a difference, have you? So maybe the statement isn't true because statistics show that less than 1 in 12 will be successful. That's over 91% that won't make it. Perhaps not everyone can be anyone. Maybe the statement is only true for a select few and not the majority. Perhaps we're trying to pull off something we're not even supposed to. But you know what? I don't think that's the case. I think we're asking the wrong question because we've been asking, how can we do it? Instead, we need to ask, why won't we do it? What do I mean by this? This is what you want, yet this is what you're doing. You're procrastinating. You spend too much time on social media or playing silly games on your phone. Within the last 24 hours, how much time have you spent towards your goals? Out of 100 tasks you did, how many were for your dream? Because in order to get from point A to point B, you have to travel from here all the way to here. And most often it's not a straight line, no, it's zigzagging, sometimes backwards a little, a lot of going around in circles, occasionally even going back further than where you started, and much, much more before catapulting to the finish line. But this part right here, this is what we don't like. We'd love to be here, but we don't like to do what it takes to get there. This is the dream, yet this is how you spend your time. This is your goal, but this is where you're heading. If only we made action towards our wants, our goals, or our dreams, we could be there by now. You could be there by now. So the truth is, yes, you can achieve anything, but no, you won't do it. Perhaps there's a purpose to watching motivational videos to help us go through the tough times, confirm that we can achieve this, to inspire us to do this. However, you know that this isn't a solution to the problem because ultimately, no matter how many motivational videos we go through, we still don't like this. And we still end up here. This problem is what I call terminal thinking. It's terminal because we stop or end our thinking process simply due to the fact that we don't think or believe it could be done. Let me repeat that. Terminal thinking is when we fail to think beyond what we perceive possible. And yes, you may believe that this is possible, but you don't think that you personally can do all of this. And to get here, you obviously need to go through here, but you don't think that this is possible, ergo, this will not happen. And there are an infinite number of alibis we tell ourselves why we don't do it. And I've heard a lot of it. I won't go through all of them today, but let's talk about the most common ones. It's too hard. Now, you don't think you can do hard just because you don't like to engage in something difficult. So you stop thinking about it as soon as you realize it's hard. You think, ooh, that's hard. I'm not going to do that. But do you know what's hard? Do you know what's really onerous? Going to work every day doing the same tasks you loathe, talking to the same people you hate, and taking orders from the same boss you despise. Now that's hard. But it takes too long, as it's supposed to. You have to work for it, put in your due diligence. What do you think? It's just going to happen. You're just going to wake up one day and have it all. But you stop putting effort on your dreams when you realize how long it's going to take. Do you know what takes too long, though? Going through 6 years of elementary, 3 years of middle school, 4 years of high school, another 2 to 4 years of college, and some like repeating those years. I don't know why, but all those years that seem like an eternity, only to get a job with a good debt-to-income ratio, and not the job you genuinely love. But I'm too old. Well, maybe because you feel you've invested too much in it already, or you just think it's too late for you to change gears now. Whatever the reason, you still stop putting thought into that possibility because of it. But do you know what you're truly too old for? Doing the same thing you've been doing for the past few decades and still doing it until the day you kick the bucket. But I don't have the talent or skill. Neither did Picasso. But I don't have the money. Many people have triumphed with much less. But my spouse won't allow it. We'll get another one. But it's too risky. But this is all I've ever known. But what if this? What if that? And so on and so forth. All of these are mere excuses not to do it. Specifically to rationalize to yourself why you won't do it. It's terminal thinking. Because in your mind, it's still too hard. It still takes too long. You're still too old and you're still too afraid to take that risk. So you stop putting thought into it. Unfortunately, I can't convince you otherwise, and I can talk about it until I'm blue in the face, but it won't persuade you. That's because we're hardwired to take the easy route. It's in our nature to choose what's comfortable, to choose what we think is safe. And this is what we think is safe. Let's perform a quick exercise. Put your hands together, intertwining your fingers as if you were praying. Notice which thumb is above the other. Some people have their right thumb over the left, like mine, and some have left over right. Now, I'd like you to separate your hands, including all the other fingers, and do it the other way. If you had your right thumb over the left, do it left over right, and vice versa. How does that feel? It feels awkward, doesn't it? It doesn't feel right. Actually, it feels wrong and uncomfortable. But is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. But that's how it feels every time we try something we're not used to. In your mind, this is how it feels when we do something difficult or long or risky. And if it happens, it feels so wrong and so uncomfortable that, like reflex, we immediately revert back to what is comfortable. We go back to what is familiar and to what is safe. So we stop putting time and effort towards it. We stop putting thought into what could be. Terminal thinking. Okay, so what do we do now? How can we overcome this dilemma? Regrettably, we can't. You're going to continue to feel uncomfortable when you try it. You're going to continue to feel wrong. And unfortunately, you're always going to go back to what's easy and to where it's safe. I know I probably should have apologized at the beginning of this talk because this talk wasn't meant to motivate you or inspire. I simply tell you what it is as it is. There's no sugarcoating, no downplaying. I'm hoping you realize why you won't do it. Terminal thinking. It's not because you can't, because you definitely can, but it's because you won't, because you don't think you can. You don't like it, so you just don't do it. And you stop putting thought into it. That's why people who have the passion, the drive, people who want it bad enough are the ones who achieve it. They're the ones that transcend terminal thinking. Because for them, doing this is never too hard than the alternative of being here. For them, this is never too long than a lifetime of regret. For them, staying here is considerably more risky than doing this. Unfortunately, no one can be talked into having passion or the drive. I can't simply hand it to you on a silver platter, because passion comes from within. It's the one thing you absolutely love to do. And that's something only you can discover. You won't find it on a video or a book or under your bed. But when you do find it, man, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. And this will come naturally. But even if this doesn't come, you still had a lot of fun doing this. Because deep within you, you know that life isn't about this. Because this is only one singular event in your entire lifetime. This is where life is. It's about the journey. It's about having fun in the midst of all the sadness. It's about the friends you meet along the way, together with the ones who want to bring you down. It's about the small successes with all those failures. It's about learning what works after figuring out hundreds of ways that don't. But because you're thinking terminally, you're missing out on the biggest part of your life. So until then, here is where you are. Now, I'll leave you with a question. Is this the dream? Are you really where you want to be? You don't have to tell me the answer. You'll only have to answer to yourself. If this is dream, good for you. If not, well, now you know why you won't do it.